When the president attacks our jury's foreperson, he's effectively attacking every American who takes time off work, arranges childcare, and otherwise disrupts their life temporarily to participate in this civic duty. His attacks denigrate both our service and the concept of equal justice under U.S. law. That's an op-ed that just recently ran in the Washington Post from Seth Cousins, who served as juror number 3 in the Roger Stone trial. Mr. Cousins joins us live here in studio now. Sir, thanks very much for being here. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Rachel.
I imagine with what you've been through, it probably was not an easy decision to decide to talk about this publicly.
It wasn't. Well, I wrote that first op-ed back in November, shortly after the trial had concluded. I felt like it was important to put a voice out there about the process that we had followed, about how seriously we'd taken Roger Stone's rights in the process. At the time, I felt like just my words would be enough, and it seemed like they were for a while. But then over the last 3 weeks or so, seeing the attacks come in on the jury, on the process, on the forewoman, coming even from the President of the United States, as you've noted and many people have noted, repeatedly attacking her, it just felt like someone needed to speak up a little bit.
It's been remarkable to see, both in you being public about this, but also in the hearing this week, that the judge contacted members of the jury, or had the court contact members of the jury and basically invite you to return to court. But it was totally voluntary. You didn't all have to do it. It
was voluntary. We didn't have to do it. There were a couple of people who were traveling for work. There were a couple of people who expressed they weren't going to be comfortable testifying. So it was absolutely a voluntary appearance.
And then 2 jurors, Juror A and Juror B, were questioned by the judge, effectively, about what the process had been like and about these allegations of bias.
That's right.
Can I ask you if you were Juror A or Juror B?
I was Juror A.
You were Juror A.
Yeah.
Was that an intimidating process itself?
It was a fascinating process, Rachel. This whole thing has been, I mean, I've never imagined that this would happen. First time I've ever served on a jury. It's going to be hard to top.
It's not always like this.
So I have heard.
Yeah.
It was a little bit intimidating. I will say that Judge Jackson has very firm control over her courtroom, and a very sort of fair approach to the process. So I certainly didn't feel nervous with her asking me questions and answering honestly the questions she had.
Joining us once again is Seth Cousins. He served on the Roger Stone trial as juror number 3 and has written 2 pieces for the Washington Post reflecting on that service and talking about his pride and how the jury conducted itself. That's become all the more remarkable and newsworthy since the president himself has started attacking the jury, along with some of the president's allies in the conservative media. Seth, thanks again.
Sure.
You wrote with a lot of pride and a lot of sort of patriotic, I found it very moving, a lot of feeling about what it meant to go through this process with your fellow jurors. You didn't know any of these people before, right. Totally diverse group from all sorts of different walks of life who nevertheless came together and took this very seriously, and we're very proud of the way that you approach this. How has that clashed with the way that conservative media and the president have attacked you guys?
Sure. Well, I think the attacks are frankly appalling. I don't think that the president or elected officials or frankly the press have a place to be attacking jury service and the idea of jury service. Jury service is like core to our justice system and to the administration of justice. Right? It's written into the Constitution. It goes way back to common law. Before that, I hadn't thought much about jury service before I was on this panel, and I've had the chance to think about it a bunch since then, and it has led me to understand like how important jury service is, what a sacrifice, even though it may just be a temporary, a few day inconvenience, but the sacrifice that every American citizen makes when they report for jury duty, when they answer the summons, and the critical piece that they're playing in sort of upholding our justice system, protecting the rights of citizens who are accused of crimes.
Do you think the kinds of attacks on you and the foreperson of your jury in particular are designed to either change jury verdicts or to make people too afraid or too shy about putting themselves, about doing this civic duty and about participating in it? Are you worried about that?
Yeah, I am. I certainly wouldn't be surprised if they are designed to make people afraid of serving on juries that may be judging other people in Trump's circle in the future. I don't know if they're designed to attack the basic idea of jury service and turn people away from that, but I fear that they actually have that effect.
Mm-hmm. Seth Cousins, again, you have every right to keep yourself completely anonymous and not talk to the members of the press and the public about this. But you doing so, I think, has really given us a super important window into what this was like and a way to appreciate how much is at stake with these attacks on you guys. Thanks for doing this. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Rachel. I'm honored to do it.
All right, we'll be right back. Stay with us.